The Red Cross estimated that 300 people were killed. The official death toll was placed at 36. Terrified witnesses told of bodies being disposed of at city incinerators, the Arkansas River, and local strip mining pits. When one witness was asked about the difference between the Red Cross totals and the city's official count, the reply was, "There is no statute of limitations on murder."
I had a friend of mine named Bill Wilbanks, who at that time was a captain in the Tulsa Police Department. And he called me and he said, "Would you come down to the police academy? I'd like to show you something." And I said, "Sure." And I dropped down to the police academy, and he was cleaning out some files. And underneath the bottom drawer were several pieces of paper that were clipped together with a rusty paper clip. With the rusted paper clip rusted to the paper, the papers had not been separated in years. What you had was a description of casualties that were what we later referred to as KIAs. And there were 300 plus on these 6 pieces of paper. There is absolutely no question in my mind that of all of the horrible race riots we've had in this country, Watts, 1968, Detroit, 1942, none of them have even approached the casualty levels of Tulsa of 1921.
There was definitely a cover-up or a suppression of the material. For example, the article, the inflammatory article, "To Lynch Negro Tonight," has vanished, disappeared. It's not in the Oklahoma Historical Society, it's not in the newspaper archives. In the microfilming of the Tulsa Tribune records, it's been excised and can't be found. Now, some people would, and have, said down through the years, why research this, why bring it up? It can do no good. And in fact, there has been some threats of real danger and possible harm to those who would explore the situation and would look at it again.
I'm not so sure that in many minds, black and white, that the cover-up was helpful in gaining some equilibrium. Whites need to be comforted that they had done no wrong. Blacks need to be comforted that no new wrong could happen to them. So, but those two things companioning themselves created this conspiracy of silence.
1,200 homes were destroyed. Another 320 were looted. Over 4,000 people were left homeless, and over 1,000 spent the harsh winter in tents. No one was ever imprisoned for his or her actions. Charges against Dick Rowland were dismissed. No one knows what happened to him or the elevator operator.
Would travel to Europe and see the ruins of Athens and the ruins of Rome. My mind went back to the ruins of Tulsa, which were somewhat reminiscent to me then when I was traveling, of the ruins of Rome and Athens and other places in Europe.
A big, beautiful Christmas tree was placed in front of the Red Cross Relief Headquarters. Now imagine, if you can, this huge tree brightly standing in the middle of a district which had once been comfortable homes, but now filled with little ones and little 2-room wooden shacks. Everywhere, large piles of brick and stone, twisted metal and debris, reminding one of the horrible fact of last June. For the first time in their lives, the Negro children of the devastated district, these hundreds of little folks, were without their former comfortable homes. The resources of their parents had been reduced to a point where Christmas couldn't mean much to them. After dusk on Christmas Eve, a chorus of 2,200 voices sang their Christmas carols and the typical Negro melodies. Coming from the throats of these people reverberated through the night air and attracted most of the crowd gathered in the business section over on Greenwood Street. Whole families were there, men, women, children. It seemed as though the whole Negro population couldn't resist this chance to sing. Never have I witnessed more spontaneous outbursts of Christmas fervor than on this occasion. The crowning sentiment of the celebration was in a speech made by one of their leaders who said, "Let us always remember the old Negro tradition. There's no room in our hearts for hatred." This occasion furnished what was termed as the greatest night in the history of the Tulsa Negroes. Mr. Maurice Willows, Director of Red Cross Relief, Christmas, 1921.
Tulsa need not feel that, it's irredeemable. That was just a mindset at that time. What we hope to learn from this ride study is the danger of having a mindset that would exclude someone based on race, religion, gender, or something. So we hope that we learn some lessons from this.
Some of our group feel their superiority over those less fortunate. But when a supreme test, like the Tulsa disaster, comes, it serves to remind us that we are all one race. That human fiends, like those who had full sway on June 1st, have no respect of person. Every Negro was accorded the same treatment, regardless of his education or other advantages. A Negro was a Negro on that day and was forced to march for blocks with his hands up that day. It should teach us to remember that we cannot rise higher than our weakest brother. My name is Mary Parrish.
In 1921, one of the most devastating massacres in U.S. history took place in Tulsa, Oklahoma. The 1921 Tulsa race riots. The black community of North Tulsa, called Black Wall Street, or as whites called it, Little Africa, was completely burned to the ground in a mere 12-hour period. Over 1,300 businesses and homes were destroyed and completely ruined. 10,000 people were left homeless in the night, and to this day, no one knows how many people actually died. Accounts range from 500 to 1,500 men, women, and children, both black and white. This senseless massacre of human life was very carefully covered up by high city officials. When Black Wall Street was destroyed, a major black economic movement that would have affected all black communities in America was crushed and completely halted. Black Wall Street was the most prosperous and most thriving black community in America during these times. It defined the word nepotism to its ultimate form. These highly organized blacks worked together in the same manner the Jews, Japanese, and Iranians work together in this day and time. Black Wall Street was so prosperous that white oilmen would come across to the black community to borrow large sums of cash in order to keep their businesses afloat. This very powerful black movement would have had an effect on blacks all across America, socially and economically, but 3,000 card-carrying Klansmen would not allow that to happen.
What you're about to witness will astound you. It will most likely affect you very deeply, no matter what race, creed, or color you are. And just maybe, this film will make us all take a second look at our fellow man and not hate him or her because of the color of their skin.